Yeah, okay, friends. Now, this next one might not be a good story to show to kids because it might be a little unsettling. It was a bit unsettling to me, but the more I think about it, the less unsettled I'm getting. I sometimes, in my past, and I would imagine you too, this has probably happened to you as well, where you get little things that go bump in the night that pay you a visit, right? I think a lot of people do, and it's you can be scared when that happens. It might startle. It might be something that's not good happening, or it may just be something that's run of the mill spooky, spooky, and it's been my experience that a lot of these things that kind of scare you at night, when you get right down to it, really didn't amount to much. It may have just been someone from the other worlds, shall we say, trying to contact you, speak with you a minute, mess with you. Heaven knows. I've never seen it to where I would say that I was in danger, and in many cases, I've gotten good advice from such beings. So, and they come all shapes and sizes, but usually at night. Then again, maybe during the day you just don't notice, perhaps. But I know the other night I was laying in bed. I had a pretty bad cold, and I was kind of blowing my nose, and oh God, you know how it gets, and 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 all of us, and I was kind of in and out of sleep, and all of a sudden, now I didn't hear anything. There was nothing that you could hear concerning this, but all of a sudden, I look. Now I have at the foot. There's the foot of my bed. Then there's my desk where I write, and then there's this big window that looks out over the woods here. Yeah, and of course, if you were standing at the window, you could look and see the river, the Musconetcong, and all that. But in this case, I'm in bed, and I look, and there is this guy floating outside the window. And I'm telling you, what I saw. Okay. It was floating outside the window, going like this to me, and going like, come on, come on. And I said, I don't know if I want to go on a walk with you, pal, but I'm looking, and it looked, the being, I say it, let's say he, okay, had two legs, two arms, a head, a body, was dressed kind of like, well, it sounds crazy, but kind of like that Looney Tune character, the Martian. Looked kind of like that. Kind of like that. He had kind of like slats as a skirt, going from the waist down to about his knees. Had what looked to be boots, may have been barefoot, maybe. And then had some kind of vest, I think that looked to be made out of some kind of metal or straw. Yeah. And he's floating, well, where he was, this being would have been floating approximately 8 feet off the ground. And I would say height-wise, maybe about 3 foot from toe to the top of his head. This, I'm trying to think, there was in front of this being, in other words, if he were looking at me, behind him was it looked to be some kind of like a donkey with a cart that he was evidently walking, that was accompanying him as he walked. And he wanted to walk, he was walking over what looked to be like a little slope in a hill, what looked to be a little bit of a stream. In other words, I was somewhat above that, and I could see a little bit of a stream and a field that appeared to be corn, and a path through that, a path that could probably hold a tractor. And this being eventually kept walking, saying, "Come on, come on," and got up to the top of the hill, looked one more time, and of course I'm not about to be heading anywhere with this being, and it just kind of shrugged its shoulders and walked over the hill and disappeared. Haven't seen it since. I know you could go running, screaming naked into the night over something like this, and it was a bit unnerving. But the more I think about it, it was evidently just some critter, maybe a dimension somehow opened up one way or another. I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. But every now and then these things do happen, at least to me, and I would imagine to most anyone. Maybe they don't notice them, maybe they do, as far as us humans are concerned. I'm assuming maybe it's people from other dimensions, perhaps from the afterlife, or maybe an angel helper. I know I've seen angels doing their thing, and I've had many of them, talk one way or another, usually for my betterment in most cases. Anyway, I just thought I'd say, interesting. I'd be very interested in hearing if you have had such moments. I would not share them with anyone else. I'll leave that with you. You can make a video about what you saw, and I could always post it on my YouTube site with your permission, but or just not using necessarily your name if you want to stay anonymous. But I think a lot of us do have these things happen to us. It would be interesting to hear what you have seen on occasion too. Where this being was seemed very nice. It's basically what you might see in a New Jersey cornfield, truth be known. But that was about it. Anyway, I thought I'd mention. I'll see you later. God bless.